Let's begin. AI will replace us, all of us, okay? Everyone have seen this statement once in a while, like for last few years, right? We read a lot of articles about it, we talk about it in the work, in the families, etc. I just want to run some survey, okay? Some questioning. So please be interactive. Raise your hands. Oh, now I see better. How many of you, don't accept it? Like, it's not gonna happen to me. Cool. Who actually hate AI about it? Like, I do hate AI because of all these changes that this brings to me. Anyone? Nice. I'll figure out it. It will affect others, but not me. Same hands. Okay. I don't know what to do. I feel helplessness. Anyone? Like depressed? No? I see only 3 people that raising hands back and forth, but what about others? Guys, put all your hands. Everyone, put hands up and stuff. Everyone? Nah. Oh, so you can raise your hands. Cool. Okay. Who think, okay, I'm fine with that and I'm ready for it? Wonderful. Now, does it remind you something? Denial, anger, bare grain, depression, acceptance. Basically, you all can understand where you stay on the 5 stages of grief. Okay? So, my name is Daniel Ostrovsky, and there is no sound on it, right?
With 25 plus years in software development, I've worked across the full stack, architecture, and DevOps. As a public speaker, writer, and open source contributor, I enjoy sharing knowledge, mentoring, and exploring new tech. My expertise includes front-end, back-end, AI-driven development, and scalable architectures. I speak and write in English, Hebrew, Russian, and Ukrainian to connect globally. Scan the QR code to stay connected for insights, articles, and talks.
Hallo zusammen, mein Name ist Daniel Ostrovsky und ich bin
international conference, right?
Payoneer. Mit über 25 Jahren Erfahrung.
Okay, let's skip it.
Olá, pessoal. O meu nome é Daniel Ostrovsky, sou arquiteto de interface de utilizador na Payoneer. 皆さんこんにちは。私の名前はダニエル・オストロフスキーです。Payoneerの UI アーキテクトです。
Okay, let's go back to the topic. OpenAI. Who remember when OpenAI became available? Year. Just pick. 2019. Okay? 6 years ago. This is the statistic of the active users for OpenAI. Who can tell me what happened in the end of November 2022? 0 users. All the way until November 2022. Any ideas? The same guys can. Yeah. Right. ChatGPT became available. Okay. Same functionality. We had an API available for widely use for 3 years, from 2019 all the way until 2022. No one using it. Okay. Until ChatGPT became available, became public, was released. What was changed? What is the main changes happened? User. Wonderful. Okay, so how many of you front-end developers? Everyone is back-end developer and you came to Generative UI talk? I see. Okay, so by the way, next time when you will argue what is more important, back-end or front-end, this is your answer. Okay, you can have a great product, a great functionality on the back-end. Everything works wonderful. Okay? But without user experience, you're nothing. This is also a real interesting statistic about the, how long it took to different online services to reach the first 1 million users. Okay, we can see the Facebook couple of years, or year and a half, Netflix couple of years, Instagram few weeks, GPT 5 days. Okay? 2 years, no users. Available for free, API, everyone can use it. Cool product, the same models, LLM, something mind-blowing. Until user experience came in, and then, hop, you have 1 million active users just for 5 days. Okay? So, let's go to the topic exactly. How do we communicate? Oh, now I really need to see glasses. Ooh, here's my glasses. How do we communicate? Let's take an example. Once in a while, I'm taking my wife to a nice, fancy restaurant. Once anniversaries, birthday and stuff, okay? Now, when you come to the university and you see the menu, usually it looks like this, okay? Not able to understand anything in this menu. Kind of fancy names, fancy ingredients, have no idea what does that mean. And to solve this, I'm starving, I want to eat. The easiest way is actually call to the waiter and ask for the help. Okay, ask, please explain me, or in the better way, tell whatever you want. Okay, I do have allergies, I want something, I'm starving, I want something big, or I'm not so starving, I want something light, I want the salad, I'm a vegan, I like meat only, etc., 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 okay? So the easiest ways to communicate and to get whatever we want is actually words, right? Words, they are our interface. Words express our intent in a very easy way, in a natural way. Natural language cuts through complicated options, right? All these complicated options actually go through with just saying whatever we want exactly. Chat, basically, either it's written chat or verbal chat, that's the way how we communicate everywhere. At work, at home, with friends, outside, right? I'm communicating right now by speaking, right? I'm not showing you images or something like this. I'm showing you images, but it's just an extra. Messaging is faster than navigating menus, right? Just think about it, when you go to some new retail store and you're trying to find, especially, sorry, girls, but men, you probably know when you come to the retail store and trying to find pants, it's usually somewhere, it's all for women, but there's very little place somewhere in the corner that you're not able to find where it's located. So much easier to find it with a representative of the store and ask, hey, where can I find my pants or whatever. It's much easier to communicate verbally and to find ourselves, either it's in menu in the restaurant, in the store, or anywhere else. It's much easier to express our intent and to get the result. And unless we switch in languages, text interfaces require minimal learning. Now, let's take an example, Rufus. My younger son, 9 years old, came to me one day and said, hey, I want to learn iron soldering. Sorry. I want to learn iron soldering. Okay, so I have no idea about iron soldering. I'm a developer, web developer. Okay, so I'm very far from all this soldering stuff and electronics, etc. So I start searching around in the web, and then I realized, okay, let's try the Rufus. Rufus is a kind of AI search for Amazon. Okay, so I explained my issue here. I have a 9 years old. He wanna learn iron soldering, some kind of electronics. What do I need? And suggest me everything that I need. Book for learning, a starter kit, kind of constructors, kind of games, small robots and stuff like this that you can buy and actually start, solder something out of the box that engage my son for this, okay, to learn it and to play with it by myself without having this help. Go and search over the internet, etc. It's going to take me, long time, and I'm going to be lost definitely because I have no idea about all this stuff. And just explaining my intent, Rufus helped me to find it, to solve my issue. Okay, so it's just and by the way, for Amazon itself, it's also a good deal, right? It's 4 sales in 1 sale, 4 products in 1 sale. So it's smarter search, natural language queries, recommendations, contextual understanding. Okay, really good tool. What about complex applications? more complicated stuff, like Payoneer. I work at Payoneer. It's a fintech, payments, transfer, money, back and forth. But not only. It's also for the big companies, for enterprises. Okay, we have send money, request money, order credit cards, manage balances and budgets for different divisions in the company, pay employers, rollouts, schedule payments, track transactions. A lot of complicated things. Okay? So, but usually when some CFO coming into the system, it knows what it should do. Okay? It knows his intent. CFO come to the system, open Payoneer and say, okay, today I need to pay payments, okay, for all employers. Or tomorrow I need to schedule something. Or I need to check where is the transactions or what happened to the transaction. So when someone uses complicated systems, usually they know why they open in the system. Okay? They have an intent in advance. Not always, but in 80%. We're always working with 80-20%, right? So just think about it. If when I come into to the system, okay, and I can just tell whatever. I can come and say, hey, today I need to make a payment for all my employees. And that's what we're going to show. That's exactly what I'm going to show today. And how does it work? So before we actually begin, what needs to be done? First of all, we need to use data. We need to understand our product. We need to understand our functionality. We need to see what are possible intents our users can come with. Okay, what do they want? It used to be like actors, right? Features, but now we need to talk about the intents. It's very similar, but it actually looks from the point of view of the end user. Not the feature that you create, but actually what the intent of your customer or your consumer that will use your system when it's come and opens and does login. Understand the intents, make UI components or micro-frontends intent-oriented. Best practice, right? Make everything modular, reusable. Also one of the things, make your modules or components or micro-frontends intent-oriented. Each one should be independent and oriented for specific intent. With everything in it, UI, backend, make it as a box. Okay? I'll show you later why it's important. Define fallback strategy. When you work with LLM, you always need to define the fallback strategy when LLM does not understand the intent. When I'm coming and saying into the Payoneer and I'm asking for receipt for the apple pie, or cheesecake, probably my LLM will, have no idea how to answer, how to handle it. Okay, so when we work with LLM, we need actually to provide the option to LLM to say, hey, I do not understand you. Okay, I'm not able to understand. Please rephrase, or that's not my expertise. Start with large LLMs and fine-tune smaller ones. Okay, always good to start with the large one for the dev, for the test purposes. They're much smarter, etc. But as soon as you move into you know what you're doing, and you actually have data, everything, all your components are ready, all your prompts, highly important, are ready. So you can move to the smaller LLMs, much cheaper. Just make a little bit fine-tuning and use it, and the responses will be much better than on large LLM. Try, test, fail, and test again, and try again until you success. Okay, so let's see it live, right? Much better to see how things work. Wow, slow stool. Okay, let's close it. Let's mirror. I hope it's gonna work. Works? No? Not working? Did I break something? It's working in the stream, but not working here. Sorry for that.
You thought the reason why OpenAI took off when ChatGPT was released was because they improved the UI, right? But do you think it also could be because their model improved? Like I think their 2.0 model was like pretty bad compared to the
when they have released the date of the release, when you had the spike, okay, it's November 30, 2022. If I'm not mistaken, they started with the 3.5 or 3.1. I don't remember the version of the model of the LLM. And this LLM was weeks, even months before available. Oh. Okay? So it's not that they changed, they came out with LLM and with ChatGPT and new model. Okay? The model was already out for try and for available in API calls, but long time before the actual ChatGPT came out.
Okay, well, I guess that only proves your point that I didn't know about it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. And here's the demo. Let's see that it works. Okay. Now, this is a demo app. It's not our UI, okay? And I hope our designers and our company are not going to see it because they're going to kill me for this design. But the main idea that if you're familiar with the ChatGPT, right? What do they have when you do log in into ChatGPT? The first thing that you see, just the input, right? Just tell me whatever you want to do, right? When you start communicating with the GPT. So it tries to understand your intent. It used to be text only, and now they support also text editor, code editor, and image editor, right? So they kind of working in type of canvas. So my suggestion is actually, or my approach, less or more similar to this. I have a canvas, and this canvas will be adapted to UI intent, to user intent, okay? So I'll start like, show me my balances. Here's my balances. The component that we see right now is Micro-Frontend in this case, okay? So for each one of the intents, for each one of the functionalities that I want to present to user, be intent-oriented, I will create Micro-Frontend. Okay, we have, it's not necessary, you can create just simple models, components, etc., but in our case, a huge company, a lot of teams, everyone have their own responsibility, different deployable, it's different topic, okay, all about the Micro-Frontends, why it's good, when it's not good, etc. In our case, it's Micro-Frontends. And by the way, when you will move your application, and believe me, sooner or later, that's what you're going to do, when you will break down your application to be AI ready, AI friendly, etc., the easiest way is going to be actually to split your application to Micro-Frontends. Okay? And also one of the things that in this case, I'm not sending any data to LLM. Okay? All I need from LLM is that LLM will understand the intent. Okay? I'm not going to, the all data, the numbers, and this, all this very, very private, all this, privacy, all the stuff. It's private data. So LLM don't have access to it. This is Micro-Frontend. It has its own API, API keys, and everything similar like any other application. LLM don't see all this data. And not able to communicate with this data too. Let's start something next. Show my wait, don't yell on LLM. Show my transactions. Okay, and also, as I said, as a canvas, so I can communicate inside of it, give more details, and kind of context awareness, so I can communicate. So the idea is actually to make the UI hybrid. AI will understand the intent, will show me the relevant UI, and inside of this relevant UI, of course, in the table, for example, all this sorting and filtering, etc., it's much more complicated in text than just clicking on the errors, etc. Okay? So the interaction with the application will become hybrid. Some of the things much easier just to say what I want. In other things, much easier it's to click when I'm already in the exact functionality that I'm exist. Much easier is actually to navigate with the button to click on the relevant buttons. Give me live representative. Let's see if this one's gonna work.
After all you've been come on, embrace the brilliance. It's here to serve you, like it or not.
Okay, so also, of course, I can use, also I'm gonna use voice, okay? I want to create a new user.
On it. User form for editing or creating a new user. Please provide the name and email to proceed.
It's also said, sorry for the sound, okay, but basically it's talking to me what I need to add, okay? So the name would be Daniel Ostrovsky, email daniel@gmail.com, and company gonna be Payoneer.
Wait a bit. User form for editing
Okay.
or creating a
Still, I'm able to update the form on what I need, okay, if it makes some mistakes. But actually, it's understand the intent. It can take the relevant properties for the action I need to perform, okay, and just fill it out for me. Now let's go to the code for the real fast. The main idea, the main implementation is each one of the micro-frontends, okay? I don't know if you can see it here. I hope you can. Here's each one of the micro-frontends that I have, okay? Just simple UI application, micro-frontend that exposed. They're all exposed here, okay? Each one standalone, have its own life cycle of the development and releases, etc. So absolutely. The one most important thing is actually you need to describe it to LLM. You need to give information about all your micro-frontends, all your modules, okay? You need to explain it to LLM and what is they for. What the intent might be, user, and which one is relevant. For this use case, I'm using a, where is? Here. I'm using Zod. Basically, the way we provide this information to LLM is with the JSON schema. Okay, Zod is actually helping to create JSON schema. A JSON schema, after all the computation, all information that I have from all my modules, from all my micro-frontends, JSON schema looks like this. Let's just jump into one of them. Okay, so let's take this one, user details, okay? Here's the user details. Here, let's start with the add new user, okay? A short explanation of the action or rug-based information is applicable. The percentage of confidence, this is like the basic one. This, by the way, this is the percentage of the confidence. It's the ability to, this is the fallback. If LLM gives the confidence of the intent lower than 80%, go to the error message. Or say, I don't understand. Please rephrase your intent. Please rephrase. So this is the way how I deal with a fallback. I have a description here, okay? All the parameters, email, name, company, and detailed description. User email should be provided by user. User's name should be provided by user. Company name, user company details if needed. What other properties are required, okay? Each one of the components, each one of the modules have interface. This is how the interface looks like. And this interface is actually provided to LLM. And the LLM needs to choose one of these intents and send them to me back. Also, on the way, if it's able to retrieve relevant properties, like for example here, name, email, etc. of the user details, especially in the form, so it will try to retrieve it, right? On the demo we have seen, first of all, when I asked I want to add user, it came empty one. Then I provided the relevant details. It knew how to retrieve it and how to fill it up inside of my inside of the response. And response is a pure JSON. Okay, so response from the LLM is JSON that I can actually, here's the JSON, you can see this is the response. Okay, and also it's come with the response parsed. The content, the response parsed. The response parsed is parsed by, not by LLM, but by framework, by SDK, OpenAPI, they support it, okay? And what gives me, okay, this is the user form editing, creating a user, and here is the details inside the parameters here. Okay, it's not stringified, but inside the parameters, I have all parameters. So I have the strict contract JSON that I can use inside of my application. Then all I need in UI, when I got this JSON, just update the micro-frontend or relevant module, and it will show the exact what needs to be shown. Okay? Last thing is that I'm using large LLM on this use case. And one of the things is actually training data that can show to fine-tune the LLM is, sorry, here. Okay. No, no. Good. Here. This is the training data, okay? Because the question, show me my money, what my balance is, how much do I have, and so this can be different variation. All I wanted to do is actually to prepare the training data with all available options of different deviation, how the same sentence, the same intent can sound like, okay, but with the same response from LLM, okay. By the way, of course, it's not me who prepared. AI prepared it for me. I asked it, okay, just this is the sentence. Please give me 100 variation of it, and this is the response in each one of them. Be sure that it's not changed. Fine tuning, and that works. Thank you. Questions?
So I was curious, have you investigated having, instead of hard-coded UI views, like you have the AI agent or LLM generate like a UI for you?
You're talking about the generating code for me?
Yes.
Okay, how long it takes to generate code?
Sorry?
How long right now?
No, I'm wondering if you've like for instance, if there is no view for like some thing the user asks for, would it be feasible to have the AI model generate a UI dynamically?
Maybe in 2-3 years from now, because that means that you need to have your own model. You won't be able to use, let's say, GPT or the cloud models and something like this. You have to use your own model, LLM, that trained on all functionality of your company, of your product, etc., and then be enough, generic, actually to try to generate functionality that it supports, but you don't provide it on the UI, okay? Or maybe some flow that can simplify it for you. Probably in the future, but not now, not yet, okay?
Okay.
Anyone else?
So a lot of payment systems now seem to be more, I guess, what you'd call click-based, where you log in and it shows you the basics like a balance and things like that, whereas this seems to be more text-based, where you start off and you have to tell me my balance. Have you guys looked at, maybe it's more of a UX side of how the user would prefer to type things in every time, or is there a few things they're going to see when you start off on the front page?
Again, anyway, it's always will be trade-off, first of all. And second, it's also you can improve things, okay? When I'm logging into the system, I agree with you that showing just input field, it's not smart enough. It's not good enough, because usually when I'm coming to the system, I want to see my balances and transactions, okay? So I can just show it on the same page. But when I do want to perform the action, that's something else, okay? So some actions, I know they exist, I have no idea where they exist, and I need to go and search them, okay? Some actions I'm doing every day, so I'm not going to type it. I will go straight to the menu, okay? I'm not saying that this UX will replace the existing UX, but this UX will significantly improve the existing UX, especially in the complicated systems. Okay? It's not to replace it, it's to enhance it. Okay? But sooner or later it's going to be replaced, definitely, because it's instead of, for example, where's the let's go to the home page. Okay, so here is kind of my actions that I'm using. It can be dynamically, it's going to be dynamically, okay? And this is actions that I'm doing all the time. And with high frameworks, all I need is just, I don't need to type, I just need to click and to see it. Please cut it off from the video, okay? Anyone else? Yep.
Have you investigated how often the users are able to communicate their intent correctly to the model, the AI chatbot? Like how often users end up with something they don't want when they use a text-based interface like this?
Good question. No, I haven't investigated. The assumption is LLM should basically help you to understand. Like, if it's close to something, it will just say, hey, I don't quite understand what you want, but here's the possible options. Select one of them. Okay, maybe one of them is more relevant. Okay. And again, there is always fallback for something. Please rephrase your question. Okay, etc. So anyway, it's much better than if I have no idea actually what I want. Like, I do understand in high level what I want to achieve, but I don't know how I can achieve it in this function, in this system. Okay, for example, I want to, let's go to something more common. I want to create environment, okay, but I know how to do it in AWS, but now working on Azure, and how to create environment on Azure, I have no idea, but I know what I want to achieve, okay? So probably LM will help me because I do know my intent, okay? Or if I'm dummy, or I'm just new, very, very, very fresh one, and just it's my first cloud, so again, listen, I have a website, I need to deploy it. It's definitely going to help me, right? It will explain me, it will ask relevant questions, etc., 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 and will guide me through the step-by-step. And this UI, by the way, it's much easier. And also, it's think about it, you can actually connect data also, the user's data to LLM, if you allowed and you have all the security after all the security process. And actually also assists you to say, hey, you're not able to transfer the money right now, you don't have enough money. Or in another way, you keep your money right now in dollars, but hey, dollar is going down, change it to euro, okay? Or you transfer in your, you make a lot of transactions, euros to Ukraine, okay? Change it to dollars because it's much cheaper, the transaction price, and stuff like this, okay? So it can add a lot of insights on this. Just help you just do it on the way, okay? And also, of course, making upsells, cross-sells, and all this stuff.
Yeah, I guess my concern would be like, say you're sending a payment to your friend, and it's asking you for like confirmation, I would think, and like it's like asking you, do you want to do this? And you write like, I'm good, because you're like a user, and you speak like you're speaking and so on, and you might be mean like, okay, I don't want to do this, like I'm good, it's fine, but the model might think, okay, the user wants to do it.
Again, to enforce, to validate the user intent and the action, especially if it's very sensitive action, like sending the money or something, okay? You definitely will want additional proof from user, like checkbox, and I agree, okay? I believe this will stay for a long time with us.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's still hybrid user experience.
Okay, thank you.
Time off. Thank you very much.